Hello, everyone, and welcome back after a over now 2 year absence from the Racing Topic podcast. We are finally back. I am so sorry for taking so long, but we're back now, and we are with live here, Mr. Alec Drummond. Alec, how are you doing on this fine evening?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing great, doing great. 2 years older now compared to the last time we did this, so it's
Bro,
been a while.
if I did this last time you were, I wouldn't have any facial hair. I'd be like baby face.
Uh-huh.
I'd look
Jeez,
like I was 16.
actually it's been sorry, let me rephrase that. Year and a half. The last one we did was the summer 2023. I have not done one since. That was just before the Canada Cup. So
Damn.
but we're back now, and hopefully I get this second stretch going. So let's get right into it. Alec, as we know on the show, I ask you about what's gone on, throughout your career. What are some of the
Mhm.
best moments, and what's to come in the future and all that stuff with, some of
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
and around this business. It's like I don't think all of us are going to stick around forever. We have our certain careers. Some of us are going to become like racers, like we go up a tier, like into cars and all that. Some of us, like myself, I hope to get into commentary very, very soon. So,
yeah, yeah.
but
Gotcha.
yeah, we'll start it off with you. Where did it all start for you? What got you hooked to karting?
So when I was a kid, I loved watching Le Mans with my dad. That was like my favorite. And then, like we watched some NASCAR racing and stuff like that as well. A little bit of F1, not so much. I didn't really like F1 until like my late teens. Um, But my dad noticed that. And also, same thing as like every other kid from the track my age, bro, the Cars movie got me in like
Yes.
crazy. Bro, I got a Lightning McQueen shirt right here. Hold up.
Hey, hey,
I got props.
that's such a good shirt.
I got the Lightning McQueen shirt right there. Um, but like everyone else my age, we all sort of gravitated towards that movie and like we're like, oh dude, I love racing, I love cars. And my dad sort of saw that and he works at he's worked at Porsche for like all my life. Um, just like as a salesman and a manager and stuff like that, up and down all the positions, right? And he got a text from someone out in BC being like, hey, I got this CRG Pufo cart. It was a 2008 Pufo cart. It's still in my shed at home. So I'm ready to throw it together for any little kid that needs it. Um, and do you have any interest? It was 800 bucks for my first cart,
Hmm.
which pretty good, right?
Exactly. Looking at prices nowadays.
I'd I'd love an $800 cart. If anyone wants to give me their cart for $800, it's free. I'll take it, right? Um, and then I started by going to Mosport at the age of 5, doing like laps. I was so slow. They called me putt putt, because that's the noise the engine made. And then I went to Sutton when Chloe was interested in karting. Um, and that was like half a year into it, around there. We went to Sutton to look at a cart, and Chloe got her Paralin. It was previously Vasil's. And then from there we just been going.
Stuff.
Yeah,
Ever since then,
yeah.
all three of you, it's your sister Chloe and your brother Caden, man. You guys have been tearing it up for past 10 years now, probably, I'd say.
That like, dude, I've been I'm 20 now. I started when I was 5. So like we've been out here for 15 years now. And you were saying like in your intro about like, oh, some of us are gonna be getting out of it, some of us are gonna I don't think I'm ever out of karting. My parents and my family and everything like that, there's always gonna be a go-kart around. So
That's true.
with that temptation, I'm never out of karting. It's just gonna be different phases of racing for me.
Hmm. I could see that. I Yeah, that and I think a lot of us have this, but me especially as well. It's like if
Mhm.
I don't want to get too much into families and stuff, but it's like some of us come from a background of racing. So it's like it's just
Yeah,
written in our DNA. It's in our blood,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
you can't take the racer out of the person.
Absolutely. Like for me, my dad did bike racing when he was younger. So there's a little bit of that, and he like worked on a couple of race teams here and there. I couldn't tell you where. I just know he has. So like it's just there. And then obviously there's a whole competitive. Whoa, sorry, pause. competitive spirit within my family for the whole racing thing. Like we get each other hyped up for it. So I don't really see an end to it anytime soon.
Mm. But that also helps a lot in some ways because if you're hyper competitive like that, it drives you to do your best. That's what we
Yeah, yeah,
want.
yeah, absolutely. And like I think part of it for me has been my family, and then later on in my career, like the last couple of years, my team, like the people that have sort of come up around us, um, have always been very competitive, but in a way that's like, I'm gonna pass on the knowledge and help you out, and we'll just get better together, and then we'll go out on track and I'll beat you, you know,
Yeah.
which is the right spirit.
The
I think that's
friendship
the
is all
spirit of
there
karting.
until we get on the track.
Until we get on the track, and then all of a sudden, people don't like me. It's kind of messed up.
It's an unwritten rule of racing. Let's be real here.
No, I couldn't see why. I think everyone should like me all the time, right, Chad? Surely there's nothing I could do
Oh
that would
man.
make them not like me.
Oh man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So heading up, so when you first started and you got that cart, which
Mhm.
was it like because we didn't have cadet and novice at that time. It was more or
There
less like,
was.
oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there
I'm
was a
thinking of
3S.
oh, that's right. Okay, my bad. I'm thinking of because well, different tracks had different classes and all that stuff. That's right. But I okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So three okay, so 3S had it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I just practiced at 3S for 2 years, just like doing laps in my little Pufo cart. And then eventually, like I was about to turn 7, turning 8, which was like the start point. Um, and my parents figured that the Pufo cart with the draw brakes, like literally cable brakes, weren't very good for racing. So I got a little e-tail cart, like a bright yellow, ugly bugger. You could see me from a mile away. So yeah, then race
Uh,
cadet for a couple of years there. It was, if you go back and look at like the sheets from that point, it's crazy the number of people that you know like now today that are competitive in kart racing that were there then.
that's true.
It's actually nuts. Like me, the entire time it was me, Nikki and Gianluca didn't really stop at any point. Maddox went in for a little bit there, in cadet. Travis Bracey, he races regularly at Mika. He was there too. Shout out Travis. He was my neighbor as a kid too. Good dude. Um, and like Chloe as well. And then like a little bit older, Josh Conker was there. Like a whole bunch of people.
That makes a lot of sense now. Now that I think about it, it's like, oh, you guys have those connections and stuff. That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense because I did not know any of that because
Now we're all old heads.
I had never been to 3S before until 2021.
It's a really cool track, eh?
Hmm.
Like I'm very thankful I grew up racing there because I feel like learning to race there as well as with the Brian Stewart series where you went out to all the other tracks in Ontario. Like my first couple of years of racing, I was at Sutton, Healy, um, God, what's the bear hunt?
Shannonville.
Shannonville, um, Ennisville, Waterloo, and I already started at Mosport. So that's 6 tracks down by like the
Yeah.
age of 7.
And to be fair, I don't want to keep interrupting you, but if there are a couple selection of tracks that will teach you to drive, like they are not
Mhm,
easy to
mhm.
drive. You need to muscle the cart around and drive those in radically different ways. That is going to teach
Absolutely.
you how to drive.
It's a whole bunch of different surfaces, and like none of those are easy tracks physically either. And there's a whole bunch of different like, I know at Sutton they have like they always have had like flat curbing and like the sealant down on the track, like the rubber down around the track to keep the track together. And then you go to like a place like Waterloo and there's banking everywhere. And then you go to like Shannonville, and this is wide open kart track. It was wild. Like it was a crazy time to be in karting. And I'm so thankful that I started from the age I did and learned everything I did there because I feel like it's given me a really good foundation to go out and learn new tracks whenever I need to go down to wherever for a new race. I like it. It's fun.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll
I was
go up a little bit. Sorry, if you got more, keep going. Trust me.
No, no, I was just gonna say I tend to yap, so feel free to cut me off whenever.
I'd rather you talk, man. This is your episode. Fire, fire off. Go
Okay,
as much as you
gotcha.
can, man.
Gotcha, gotcha. I will be here for hours. You don't get to go to sleep tonight, Chad. Congratulations.
Oh boy, that's yeesh, I need it.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry. Anyways, keep going. What are you doing? What you saying?
So I was gonna say, um, heading up a little bit because this is
Mhm.
when junior light became. I know this is skipping ahead a couple years, but
Yeah.
the
A
first
lot.
time I
Yeah.
personally saw you, and because I got introduced to you through your sister, uh,
Hmm.
because I met you guys because at the time I was at Professional Racing Ontario. You guys were
Hmm.
with them for a short stint with the
Hmm.
Castrol logos on the carts that you guys had, which were is very nice decals.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Mhm.
Do you want the story for that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bro, like, I don't know. I just started to be fast around that time. Like, I wasn't like my entire childhood was like okay. I had podiums every once in a while. But like, you know, like you're not winning, you're not doing nothing, right?
Mhm.
That's the means of the sport. So like right around that point, and Chloe was doing really well. Like Chloe moved to like she won everything in cadet, when we raced cadet. At the time it was called novice. But I digress. Um, and so that as well as like family connections because we knew my dad worked at FAF and FAF had the Castrol stuff going on with their he was Porsche Cup of North America or whatever it was at the time. Chris Green was racing the car. Anyways, we had this connection and all of a sudden we got like a sponsorship deal with them to run
Hey,
the Castrol livery on the carts and it looked really cool and I was so proud of it. Um, and we got to go to like a bunch of, we went to like the celebration of Castrol in Canada, like when it was at, I don't know what birthday, but it wasn't birthday. It was like us, DJ Smith and Chris Green there. We got to like talk to people about racing and be like, guys, this is such a cool thing. You could get in a go-kart tomorrow if you want. Like it's so much more cheap and it's so competitive. You guys should try it, which has always been like the motto for us, where it's like, yeah, it's just like a fun competitive sport. And I think other people should try it. And I guess that was sort of a start for that. And then like that part of my career was kind of crazy.
yeah.
Like I had a shoe deal, which is nuts. Like I got two free pairs of Pilotis, which are, in my opinion, the best race boots a year. Like me and
Nice.
Chloe both.
Oh, that's cool.
What a dream. What a time to be alive.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Goddamn.
I the other thing, like I vividly remember those times as well, where it's like you guys had a lot of like, because I was a little older than you at the time.
Hmm.
The competition that was upcoming through the pipe when all of us were sitting down and looking at
Crazy.
the junior lights, and it's you still see it today as
Yeah.
well. But like there were so many of you in junior light as well, almost as like pretty much I think bigger times than there was in Briggs Junior and Briggs Senior. It's like the, and the
Oh,
racing that you guys had was just you swap and you throw get a lottery ticket. You're not going to be able to predict who's going to win this race.
no, because it
It's
was
all over the
nuts. We were just
place.
going at it. I think that's one of the best things you could do as a kid. Obviously, like now everyone's so focused on winning from an early age where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, you have to like think of the strategies that you do when you're in senior, like wait to the
Yes.
last lap so when they don't get their
Yeah.
opportunity, push them away. But I'm really like, I did a lot of that when I was a kid because I was watching video from a young age and trying to learn.
Hmm.
Like, I'm a psycho for this racing stuff. Like unironically, there's not a video on YouTube that I haven't seen at Mosport, Goodwood, Hamilton, any of the major racetracks in Ontario that we participate at. Like I watch it all, which really says something for my ability to go outside, but it's okay. Um, anyways, like I've always been doing videos. So like I did a little bit of the strategy stuff about like waiting and then learning lines and like all that stuff. But I think the area that I grew up in, we weren't as focused on that. It was more like just get out and learn and race,
Hmm.
which is good. So like I got a lot of reps in, like specifically in junior light between me and Nikki, just going back and forth and learning. And then as we got a bit older, more people were like in there. Like in my junior light years, it was like me, Nikki, Avery, Miller, and Kai were the ones that were like frequently there that I remember towards like the later part. Um, Earlier on, there was more drivers, but like towards the end of my junior light career, which is the part that I really learned from, I felt. Um, like it was a crazy group of drivers, all of which are like still able to come out and participate today and go kind of crazy. Like Nicky won one of the inter club races. He does really well whenever he goes to the States. And then like Kai came back last year and won a rock race, just like a club race, but still like coming back and the physical toll that it has on your body to run rock, coming back and
It's
winning is
true.
pretty solid. And like we haven't seen Avery for a couple of years, but he was doing really well up until he I don't know, disappeared. I don't know what he's doing, but shouts out to him.
True enough, man. True enough.
Yeah.
So I I I enjoyed that era, just watching you guys and all that, coming up through junior light, and there's a couple other people that you didn't name off there as well, which
Oh, there's a
uh,
bunch. Like
yeah.
I can't name everyone because otherwise we'll just be sitting here like proving how old we are. But
hmm
shouts out to all of them.
I'll name you a few of them.
Go crazy.
I'm not a couple other people that I would name is Zane Ikram. Um,
Zane got good in junior again. He did really well in junior, but he sort of like dropped off for the junior light year there.
and Nico Christodoulou.
Yeah. He got real good towards the end there.
hmm
Yeah.
Quite a bit of fighting. And you guys even had Logan Ploder in your class for just that little bit.
No, he moved up for like he was in junior for that time.
Really? I
But
think he was
yeah,
with you guys, I thought.
he's a year ahead.
Yeah. But he
Same
did
with like
race
Jean
junior light
Luca
up
moved to
until
Raw.
2016.
No, 20. Oh, shoot, you're right. Sorry, my bad, my bad.
Yeah.
Because he was racing out of Goodwood mostly. No
hmm
diss for Logan, okay? I love that guy. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I had dinner with him
Shouts
earlier
out to
tonight.
him. I love him. I like that's genuine like top people in racing. I love that guy. 100%. I love him. He's great and he's a fantastic driver.
Mhm. So we'll move up a
Yeah.
little bit ahead. Your junior
Mhm.
light career, you said, was still very good.
It
Uh,
was really
Getting up
solid.
there, like you
Junior, I
could
was kind
tell.
of a bum.
Eh,
Not like actually, like I was in the podium a couple times. I got a couple wins, but like I wasn't, you know,
yeah.
not where I wanted to be.
Again, a product of that time. There were so many of us that were so freaking at the epicenter of what you see
Yeah.
nowadays of like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best drivers. It's like so many of us were in that junior field during that time.
Yeah.
So,
No, you're right. You're right. Sorry. I feel like I hold myself to a very high standard for racing stuff. So
hmm.
I'll just throw out like specifically for me, I'll be like, I was a bum. And it's just like offhanded. Don't worry. It's not serious. I just hyperbolic.
Man. So, unless you got any other good stuff about the junior career before we get to senior.
Man, not really a ton. I feel like there's not a ton of like strong stories there. Like I had a good time like learning my craft, and there was a lot of racing that happened there. And then towards the end, it got really frustrating when I was like I shot up and got went to the gym.
Yeah.
So I had to move to senior midway through my last junior career, like right before Summerfest. And that was an awful experience, but it ended up being a good learning curve for like when you come through the field, how do you just go, you know?
Yeah.
And how do you, even if you're at a disadvantage, how do you just go,
Mhm.
right? So it was really good for learning the racing stuff.
That's true. That's
Hmm.
true. Because I think it was 2019. Yeah, that was
Yes.
the kicker point. Because I do remember racing you at the time, and it that was still when Summerfest is still not a thing anymore.
Summer, that was
That
the
was the
last,
last Summerfest, wasn't
that
it?
was the last Summerfest. That was my first race in senior.
Or was it 2020 that was the last Summerfest?
It was the last Summerfest because we had COVID in 2020.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Was there another big race that happened? Yeah, I'm racking my brain.
It
Jesus.
was, and 2019 was sort of like the end of an era because that's
Yes.
when Goodwood and Mosport split
hmm
and COVID hit and everyone was just sort of in a state of disarray.
Yeah, it was almost like we were in limbo.
Yeah, because like no one really knew where to go or what to do. Like we
hmm
raced out of Mosport, um, primarily, and it was a Sunday, Saturday thing for us where we continued racing at Mosport. Because obviously what days you have off work, what day my parents at the time, because I was like 14 years old racing against grown men, they sort of had to be with me. And you know the mouth I have when I come off the track sometimes.
I
So I had to have parents there.
fair.
Um, so like we had to be at Mosport. We sort of missed out on some Goodwood stuff, which I think wasn't very helpful, but I think giving me a break to learn other stuff and come back was good. Um, but it was just like a crazy point in racing for Ontario because it was such a split. There was a bunch of people that just dropped out because of COVID and the economy and the way that it was.
Oh,
And it was just like complete disarray.
it. Yeah, I mean, despite I'm just trying to. Oh, there was one big kicker though in 2020 that did bring a lot of people back together, and you'll remember this because I think your sister was 100% in it, and I think you were as well. The Canada Cup in 2020, and
Yeah,
we all know
I
where this
qualified.
leads to in the start of the final. My God,
I actually
that
don't
is
remember.
one of the
Is it bad
biggest
that I don't remember?
crashes. One of the biggest crashes or pileups, I should say, I've ever seen in my entire life of karting.
Is it bad that I don't remember?
Oh, I need to show
Oh,
you a clip
dude.
of it. It was the one
Yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
Chloe got like she was right in the middle of it, and
Oh,
there you go. There you go.
oh my God. Yeah.
You can
Oh, that
see
was
it from
awful.
Logan's camera because he was the first
That
one that
was,
got spun and everybody else piled into it.
yeah, I remember we were worried Chloe almost broke her foot there. It was bad. Like
She
she
had to get a
got,
new helmet.
yeah, I think it was Jack Young. He raced a K and K at the time, 355, if I remember correctly. If not, it was 65. Shout out Renly, you know? Um, but he went like full pin over her and over her leg. It was just like one of those things because the pile up spot was an awful point, right?
Oh,
It's like
it's a
right
blind
where
corner.
like and it's such a pinch spot too. Going through exiting those S's, it's such a mess. If I'm right, it's there, right?
It
Remember correctly?
was sort of it was in turn three. It was just after you went up the hill
Oh
and
no, I
in
got
the
completely the wrong
middle.
point then.
Okay.
I'm thinking of a different incident. I'm so sorry.
It's
No,
okay.
like damn.
Because I'm
No,
trying to think of the one that you're talking about right now, and I'm like,
I genuinely couldn't tell you.
maybe I wasn't there for that one. It
Yeah.
it was Canada Cup 2020, and like everybody was there, like except me. I remember where I was. I was at my cottage that weekend. Everybody was there. You had Spencer Todd was there, Jake Cowden, Pierce Herter, the Allies, John
Mm.
Luca, Nikki, Maddox, Alex Murphy, like everyone was there.
Full honesty, man, it might just because I had a bad race and I burnt it from my memory, but I can't remember that for the life of me. It's actually
Oh.
bad. I don't know.
All right. So we'll continue in there. Yeah, that crash was absolutely massive. It probably like took 30 people, maybe more, probably 40, if I'd have to be real. But I know
Yeah, I'm
you're
a
having a
bad
hard time
brother.
remembering it. It was the
I'm a
race
bad
where
brother for that.
Chloe had to get a new helmet right
Yeah, I
afterward.
remember her having to get the ugly green thing. Like what can I say? It's not. It looks like this color,
Hey,
you know.
nothing wrong with Mountain Dew. Can't go wrong with Mountain
I've been sipping on Mountain Dew. It's
Dew.
okay.
Exactly.
It's a really good.
Exactly.
Leave this part out. It's a really good mixer. Um.
So, um,
Yeah.
so, so I guess we'll go a little bit to like once 2020 sort of wrapped up but
Yeah.
as that year went on, more of us got back into it. You know what I mean? And then we
Hmm.
sort of started to find our footing for 2021.
Yeah. Um, for me, I got my first senior podium at the end of 2020. Took me a
Hey,
year and a half. But the field moving up was really strong. It was all the guys from junior, and we didn't have any sort of engine program, and we were still trying to figure out the cart because we moved to VSR in 2019, and it was sort of for me, it was plagued with like my own personal issues between um the weight stuff in 2019 and then moving up to senior and learning how to race as a senior, which is a big jump for some, myself definitely included, because it takes a lot more prediction on how to act with other drivers, right? Like my first race up, I remember I got into a little spat with Bohm,
oh,
which of all people, Zach Bohm is like a super kind dude. Like he's a really nice guy. But I think I was like the only junior moving up at that point, and he just saw the opportunity. He's like, ah, that's cool. Don't worry, you know? And then I got him back by the end of the weekend, and we've been good since. And he's just like a really chill dude to talk to now whenever I'm around Goodwood.
It's
Um,
always great
but
veteran of the sport.
great dude, great veteran. I think he's a good influence too. Like he's like he's good friends with Ryan and so Ryan Britsky, Dave Miller, and all of them, Jeremy as well, which we'll get into Jeremy and that stuff later. But like just one of those people that's like as a rookie, he's someone you could go and talk to and learn from and like just a good person for the sport to have, you know? Yeah.
100% agree.
For 2021 though, I don't know. Like I started in rock that year.
Okay, so that was the year you guys started doing
That
rock.
was yeah. Which I mean, I was quick enough, but just like wasn't physically there. Because if you're not starting at a young age with two cycle, the amount of grip that there is, like, man, it'll tear you up if
Mhm.
you aren't like used to it. And I was trying to run practice on practice on practice on practice, just laps, 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 right? So like I kind of beat myself up a little bit, you know? Chad, I think your audio's gone. Sorry.
I can still hear you.
Okay, sorry, because I thought you were saying something
Nope.
and my bad. Okay,
Nope.
sorry, sorry, sorry.
That's my facial reactions.
Oh shit. My bad, my bad, my bad. Um, anywho's, yeah, like it beat me up. And then there was the one race, the Constructors Cup, that came in 2021. It was the race before nationals, and I knew that I wasn't going to be running rock on a national level because it's just a whole different beast, and I feel like it's disrespectful to come up into a new engine class when you're like still learning the ropes and just jump right onto the national level if you're like not there. Like I feel like it's disrespecting the sanctity of the sport in a way. As much as that sounds like odd,
Yeah.
I think everyone should be participating in the class that they feel that they want to compete in and they feel that they can best compete in and they feel like they're going to be like ready to go.
Yeah.
If
I
everyone's
see
at
that.
their peak, we're always going to be better drivers because of it, right?
Hmm.
And that year was the first year for Constructors Cup. I don't know if it was a fellows race or not. I don't think so, but it was the race before nationals. Has always been Constructors Cup since then. And I remember coming back to Briggs Senior and Chloe and I double podium that weekend, and that was really
Hey,
good.
good stuff.
And after that, nationals was kind of a disaster. My throttle cable stuck on the opening lap
Oh,
of the final. Like for the no, it was the opening, like the on lap for the pre-final. And so I was trying to like edge the engine on and off with the button, but it just like it was useless. And we were going into five and everyone was checking up and it was just dangerous. So I had to pull it. And then from there, just like a okay race. I don't know. 2021 was a weird year because it was sort of a mix of stuff for me. Like it wasn't something I'll remember too well. I know Chloe did well that year. She was competing in a lot of the club stuff. And she did well either that year or 2020, and she got like a fellows win, one of the two. It was against Pierce. Like that was the final lap they went at it. Um, or maybe it was I don't remember. It was someone, but I know like for her it was a lot better. But for me, it was like just more learning the ropes still and developing and just focusing on what I could do better.
yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
I can see it. You know, it
Yeah.
like like it happens to all of us. It's like sometimes it takes a bit to get used to a new chassis. You know, you don't know
Mm,
what everything like. Sure, you might jump into it. It's like okay, there's still there's speed out of it. You're still getting it, but you don't know all the
yeah.
setups and all that. That still comes with
Yeah.
time.
Like we got the chassis pretty well down, I felt like, but we didn't really have any engine program. Like we pulled our just because of money stuff, like
Mhm.
we were putting more money into rock. So we pulled our engine program like towards the end of 2019. So that's like 2 years without an engine program. And at that point, the engines like 2020 and on, the engines were just getting better and better and better, right?
Yeah.
Like the Briggs engines, the new ones, is such an advantage now, which like good if you're just getting into the sport and want to buy a new engine, cool. But like to be constantly updating it, sometimes it can be frustrating. You know,
Exactly. Especially if you don't have the budget to do so.
we weren't aware of that at the time either. So, it was just a
Yeah.
bit of a mess. But we still got it there a couple times. Like we got a couple podiums in there.
Yeah.
And we were getting better and I was doing a lot of learning. So for me, it was like solid on the learning side, even if the results weren't there yet in the way I wanted them to be, you know?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So then we move out of the COVID stretch, if you will, because 2021 was still affected by COVID, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the one thing that I actually forgot. Yeah, 2020 was a shortened season. So was
Mm,
2021. We didn't start until the
weird.
summer.
Yeah, weird time to be alive, man.
Ah,
I don't know. It was really odd. Shout out COVID for being like the worst.
yeah. How about not shouting at a depressing
I mean,
time?
call out COVID. This is a
Exactly. Yeah,
call out
that's better.
post. I've already won one fight with COVID. I can win another, you know?
Yeah.
It might affect my schooling, but
In the
you
end,
know,
you come back stronger.
this is a call out post. I'm ready to fight.
Yeah.
I don't want it again. I want no smoke.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
So I guess now we'll go 2022 and onwards. I guess
Hmm.
2022 until now. Tell us what's
Yeah.
going on because that's when you guys really got into doing, you know, full program of VSR,
Hmm.
full two stroke and four stroke, a lot of racing, a
Yeah.
lot of racing.
Yeah, man. So 2022 for me wasn't a ton of racing to start out. I also had a shortened season to start that out because we were at the track cleaning up and I just had like this mystery incident. I don't know why. We were running down the hill, down to turn 5 from turn 6, and I passed out. Just like fluke injury.
Uh,
Um, and I broke my collarbone.
oh
So
God, okay.
so yeah. If you find any blood on the track from that point, between those 2 points, just know why it's there. Um, but I was racing Joe down the hill. Shout out Joe Cunningham. That's my dog. I love him.
Just
He's
a good
like
guy.
genuinely one of my best friends. But we were running down the hill and I just sort of passed out. And so I had a shortened season. And then that year we were because we already sold our 4 cycle carts. We were supposed to go full 2 cycle that year between Chloe and I. And Caden was going to keep developing in Briggs because he just moved to senior for that. And so uh, basically, I came back after injury at like race 5 or 6. Um, and we were just like, you know what? We have some Briggs engines. Let's just throw it on a 2 cycle chassis. See if it works. And it did real well. My first session, they were like, oh, just play it safe. I emptied the tank like from full. I just was like, I love it, right? So like you take me out of a cart for 6, 7 months and I will abuse the cart as soon as I get back into it. Just like go laps, slaps, 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 slaps. Like I did an enduro on my own there, just because I could and because I needed to get back in the groove. And I was so pissed that I missed so much time. And I felt like I needed to make it back. And I ended up doing well the first race back. And then the second race back was when we sort of started going full out at it again. And that's when we realized the 2 cycle chassis really worked for 4 cycle, especially in the rain.
True.
Um, and
I
we just sort of stuck
I
with that.
know. I know how hard it is to beat you.
Brother, like that one race this year, like I think it was race 5, 4 or 5. It was my first senior win, but I remember like we got to the grid and it was me, Owen, you, Chloe, Joe, Nagy. So you were surrounded by VSR in the front. And I walked up to you because you raced for VRS. I was like, Chad, if you just swap those 2 letters, and you were like, no, I'm not doing that.
Nope.
I race for rah, rah, rah. I was like, okay, Chad, okay, buddy. But there was success. Yeah.
I totally agree.
Um, but yeah, that's when we sort of figured out that developing that way instead of with the 4 cycle chassis was going to work out better for us. And we just sort of kept it on from there. In terms of like funny stories from that year, I don't really have a ton because it was so shortened for me.
Mhm.
But it was sort of the starting point for the VSR that we had last season, where Owen was just getting into it. Like Owen was just moving into senior. Shout out Owen Yellen. Nathan was getting going. Towards the end of the year, Noah was doing testing in the VSR carts. Like he took my cart out for a practice session. Caden was in his cart, and they went out and did laps until the sun went down. And it was really like the foundation of what we've sort of got to today with our team. And I
Hmm.
was like, that year is so crucial to what we have now, outside of just the results, but learning to develop that chassis has done so much for us. And I'm
Yes.
really proud of what we built with it since.
That's
Yeah.
what track time will give you guys, man. It's like you're there getting it all in. It's like, who knows what you can learn? Try this, try this, try
Yeah.
this.
And like it's not that we didn't have any track time in the four cycle chassis either. It's just I think it suited the driving style more for
Yeah.
Chloe and I, and it let us be able to teach the drivers around us more as well. You know, um, like it's just the chassis just works real well. Like it's not like we didn't try the four cycle chassis, and the chassis works fantastically in the dry, the four cycle chassis, but there was just some issues with it in the wet, and then like sometimes it just didn't work with the driving style that we were looking for. And we moved to the two cycle chassis, and it's cheaper and it's more accessible, and the components are better, and like it's just a great cart. I love that thing, man. Yeah,
I've heard a lot of good things about it from like everybody and all that stuff. Whereas now
I'm not
you
gonna.
barely see like any, I was gonna say it's like you don't see a lot of four-stroke OTKs anymore. It's all two-stroke
No,
OTKs that they run in four-stroke.
we run them for the junior carts.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
Scotty Ford was running it last year, and then we got a couple of arrive and drive drivers that we've been training because I've worked at Mosport the last couple of years, and I was a couple of guys trainers, and they really wanted to move up to our team because of that. Um, so we got a couple of drivers that we're training on the four cycle chassis for next year, and just moving people through. But other than that, once you hit senior, it's like a weight thing for the four cycle chassis that I think in the rain really affects it and makes it push. So getting to the two cycle chassis, I think makes such a big difference.
Mm.
And it's like a dream in the wet. It's so fun, you know?
I can see it with the way you guys drive it and stuff like that. It just looks like it sticks and it looks like it's balanced.
Dude, it's so good. Like there's some stuff obviously you have to do to it. Like there's like setup stuff and like it's been developing because obviously you don't get the same amount of testing in the rain as you do in the dry.
Yeah.
So like we're still developing that rain setup and it's been so strong in the rain. Like Interclub this year on my own, I was able to break up the prime team and end up third for qualifying at Mosport.
Yeah.
Just on my own. And then like we had guys coming up through just like our regular club racers that were up towards the top, not like our national program drivers, right? So it obviously works real well. And like I think our guys are really well suited to the rain as well. They're really like putting in the time and learning and ask a lot of questions and like will feed information between each other and just help build each other up. So that's a lot of it too. But man, that cart works in the rain. It's a dream.
I can see it. It is like, and you can see it from a lot of people's videos as well. If you go online and look at certain
Mm.
videos, your videos, Ari Cadillo, he loves that thing in the rain, man.
Dude, he's a crazy
He,
man. Like
he,
some of the
I don't
stuff
know
he
how
goes
he does
for,
it, but
he's
he
so
does
bold.
it.
He's very bold. I don't know. He's even his setup stuff is so weird. I was talking to him like the last race we did against each other. He's like, "Hey, come see my cart." I was like, "The hell? What do you mean you're doing this? This what?" Pete? I'm like, "Damn, amazing!" Like, and more stuff he's told me since, just like being around us and like helping out with some of our like drivers on the day, just because he's there. Some of the stuff I'm like, "What the hell? That works for you. If I did that, I'd be flipping, you know? But yeah, like just there's such a range of setup for different drivers. It's just how it goes, right?
It also, and I'm not body shaming anybody by saying this, but it's also, it depends on where your body is and what your weight is as well. It's like, how much
Definitely.
muscle do you have on you? How much body mass do you have on you? How much weight's on the cart? is it just you in the seat? And how does
Hmm.
that, like, then you have to mess around with the setups of the cart, because the center of
Hmm.
gravity in the cart is totally different. And that really,
Absolutely.
it makes a difference in the rain, and it makes a
Dude,
massive difference when the track grips up like crazy.
it's crazy. It's actually nuts. So you mind jump if we jump forward to 2023, I feel like it's
Go
appropriate
ahead.
since it's the next year. I went to school at Guelph. That year was my first year at university. I'm still here now. Shout out Guelph, shout out the place.
Hey.
Um, and I was just like, I spent the entire winter in the gym because it was my first time with the gym pass, and I had a meal pass, so I wasn't worried about cooking, and I just ate and went to the gym every day.
Yeah.
I spent like 2.5, 3 hours in the gym a day just because I was bored and I thought it was fun.
Hmm.
And then we got to Charlotte for the first time, and all of a sudden I was overweight and slow. So I got up to like 170 pounds, and it was all like upper body muscle because I was
Hey.
just bored in the gym. I was just moving heavy things because it was fun. And trying to figure out how to make that cart work. Like the start of 2023, if you go back and look at the results, I was just mid as hell. Like I was leading off the mid pack every race. I wasn't in like the competition that I was used to being around, um, just because of size. And
Hmm.
then once I got back from school, in 3 weeks, I lost 15 pounds, which isn't really healthy, but it's whatever. Um, it got me down to race weight, and you could see at that very point, from that point on, I led the series in points.
There you go.
Yeah. So like it really makes such a difference. Or like even like tracks like Hamilton, which I'm going to develop a setup there. Like that's part of my goals for next year. But like our first time there, or I guess our third time there since the repave, when they had all the sealant down and we were all on like everyone was on new tires. And it was
And it
nationals
was
that year.
grippy as
It
hell.
was grippy as hell. And man, I'm telling you, because a lot of the corners are off camber engine side, right?
Yep.
So I already lean like crazy in my cart. And so it's such a driving change when you're on an off-camber corner, high grip, sealant's on the track. It's just rubber on rubber. And then you're leaning out, and it's just like, oh, every corner I went around, man, I was like tipping over. I was
Yeah.
so mad. I was, oh, not a great time to be around me off the track,
You
but
came to me
it's all
after the
right.
race and you said, "Hey, did you see how well my cart was handling?" And I'm like,
Dude, it was
trust me,
tough.
I wasn't happy with mine either, because while you were dealing with
You were
that,
sunk
I
in.
I was yeah, I was tuned
Yeah.
out. I couldn't really do anything else. I was just bouncing like I was in a jumpy castle. It was hurting me more than it would have on the old surface at Hamilton.
Yeah.
It was so painful.
Still managed a top 10 though at nationals. I was eighth that year with almost flipping every corner because it was just a crazy race.
Yeah, it was. Oh my God. That was
Yeah,
us. You look what happened ahead of us. My God, man.
brother. Like, no, I'm talking ahead of us. It was nuts. That was a crazy race. There was like not, dude, like who went out that race? Like there was the pile up between Chloe, Brennan, and Rennie.
Yep.
That one was nuts.
Brennan
Just in the
and
middle of the
Mitchell
track.
before that crashed together in turn one.
Brennan Mitchell, that was crazy. I saw Mitchell like 50 feet up the hill
Yep.
just
Without the
out of
front
nowhere. I was
nose
like,
cone. Front nose cone got ripped off.
well, yeah, dude. I just remember coming into turn one and being like, "Oh, what are you doing there, man?
Yeah. What
Like,
what happened, man?
what's how you doing, man? Like, what you doing?" I didn't know what
Uh
happened. I was just
uh
like, "Damn,
Jeremy Valancourt and Jordan Pryor, because
yes."
them and Alex,
Turn
and then
five,
what to add
right?
into that crash with the Aiden Ingrata, because I think he got up on two wheels. I'm trying
Yeah,
to think, because there was so much shit
it
that
was.
happened in
It
that.
was. I couldn't like tell you word for word, but I've seen it. You could probably pull up a picture. Ari's dad was filming from the
Yeah,
sidelines, just
videoed
that
the
part,
entire race.
videoed the entire race, and it's like, damn, 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 damn. Oh God, they're over. There's three of them. Like it was just nuts. Like that. What are you supposed to do there? It was just a crazy. It was a
Nothing.
blind corner.
Yep. And they couldn't get the carts unstuck, so we had to finish the
No,
race while they were stuck there.
Chloe was like the last one out of that incident because she was trying her best to like yank the card out from the intermingling of all the three, and like the other two ran off to the side, and Chloe was about to get hit by a cart while
Oh
she was
my
getting yelled
gosh.
at to get out of it. Bro, she's crazy. Shout out Chloe. I've been giving shout outs like crazy, but like that's the
It's a
biggest
good.
shout out.
It's a good man.
Mhm.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen. Oh, let me just.
Competitive spirit is nuts there. But
Hold
yeah.
on. Ugh,
Um,
I'll say that much.
well, yeah, what are you saying? Saying it's not just the competitive spirit?
No, I'm saying it's like that's 100% true because we were all hyper dialed in for that weekend. It's like, and even before that, like before the chaos and stuff, there was already again buy a lottery ticket and try to guess how many lead changes there was because it was
Yeah,
just
yeah, it was
flip
nuts.
flopping back and forth like crazy.
Or even like coming from the back because of all the BS.
Yeah,
Like the people that we were working through, like it was kind of crazy. Like I was back there with you and Maddox, and we were just making our way forward the
yeah,
entire race, right?
yep.
It was just a crazy race up and down the field.
It's all
Yeah.
over the place. I terrible, terrible start. I don't know what I did. It's just and then just was uphill battle from there,
I
which
just
was
started at the back because I had an incident in the pre-final. I wasn't even sure I was gonna race the final.
mm,
Because I got ran over by a go-kart.
oh,
I got a mark on my helmet from a tire, and I don't know if it'll show
ouch.
up on camera. I got a scar right there
I
from
think I can see it.
chassis.
Oh man.
I was wearing brand new gloves,
Oh,
and I got a whole. Of course, it's when you're wearing brand new stuff, right?
I know, right?
It's
It's the
always,
most irritating thing.
I try not to be like spiritual or nothing, but sometimes I gotta believe in that like random voodoo crap. Because like, damn, like I got a scar from it. There's blood stains around that part of the glove, and I still wear them
Oh
today.
my gosh.
Yeah, I
That's
probably
nuts,
shouldn't
man.
share that part. That's a bit
Nah,
grim,
that's
but
fine. We've all had those.
blood,
I've
sweat, and
been there and
tears.
done that.
You know?
Been there, done that. So
Yeah. Um,
come on, lady.
yeah,
Sorry. All right.
that was a crazy race.
It
But yeah,
was.
weight distribution does crazy stuff for the go-kart. And we sort of tried to work around that in different ways. Like we got weight in crazy places. I know you have weight in even crazier places than we do.
All over the place.
Um,
I need it on my body, like in my suit to,
mm,
you know,
have you tried muck bombs?
I have not.
That's your next step. Next time you go into nationals, national final, mukbang, dude, that'll be a podcast. Here,
Oh
I'm a
yeah.
business.
Oh
Isn't that
yeah.
a great idea? Bro, the mukbang. Come on, you and Logan,
Oh man.
because you guys both got weight in crazy places.
I know. We're too small and too skinny for this, man.
Ah, man, you guys
Yet,
are perfect.
like I
Y'all are
said,
killing it.
I never deal with two wheeling and I want to keep it that way because I
Good.
remember when I first tested out one of my new chassis, like middle 2023, before the Canada Cup, track was already dialed in. I go out with the cart with no weight on there with new tires. First flipping lap, I almost put it in the fence because I two wheeled so bad.
Yeah, but you were damn fast. 2023 Canada Cup. That was a fun race.
That was. I I won't say I was fast. I just it started out good and then I started fading, but it was
Yeah,
still a very fun race. It was
the
fun race.
final, like towards the final, like the heats, you were really fast, and I remember because were you? Hold on,
I
I
don't know
think
if it
you
was
were
the
up
Canada
there.
Cup, Alec. I'm not sure. I
2023.
did I was in the top 10 the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just know like the top three were sort of like away, and then four through everyone else
We were
was
right
just sort
together,
of
yeah.
back together.
Yeah.
That was kind of nuts. But yeah, that was fun. I had to race through the back from that one because I got into an incident in the
Oh
pre-final
yeah,
running
that's right.
fourth.
You and Christian Savaglio got together,
Bro,
unfortunately.
I got a funny video from that too. Also, Ari's dad got the video, but you see the incident and he continues following everyone else, and then he zooms back quickly, and it's just me while the cart's still moving, hopping out of the cart and ripping Christian off me to get back going. I was pissed. It was just a racing incident, but it
Yeah.
sucked, man.
But
Because I was like, damn, I'm doing good.
yeah, in the moment, emotions run high. It's
Yeah, no,
the
no,
stuff
no.
that happens in the moment. Afterwards, it's like you try and talk everything through,
Oh, no,
but
no. I
it's
wasn't
just
like pissed at
in the
Christian. I was just pissed that
yeah,
it
it's just
happened.
like I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the situation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I was just like, I was out of the cart while it was still moving. I was like, yeah, screw this. Just get back in the cart, jam in the throttle, fry a clutch, get back on the track.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm
What a
not easy
time.
on go-karts, man.
Ah, man.
Um, Yeah, that was a fun weekend. I love that Canada Cup series. I
It is
think
good,
like
isn't it?
one of the things, an idea I have for like, and mind you, I'm not a businessman. I'm just an idea guy, and those don't get anywhere. Um, but idea I had, I think the little mini series that some tracks have are really good for racing, right? Like it shows with the
Yeah,
Rotax Cup out in Hamilton. They got big numbers doing that, and Rotax has made a big comeback. Like I think the holiday series, if they made it a proper series out at Mosport, would go crazy because that's
yeah,
like a different race format. And it's really catered to the drivers. Um, and then like I don't know too much about track or any sort of things that they do there, but I think if they did like a little mini series, more people would be willing to show up for a mini series to compete in that championship than like a
I agree.
15 race
So,
championship.
sort of like, yeah, like the club championships or even the regional championships. It's like if you just do
Yeah.
these other mini ones, and we've seen it before, it
Hmm.
drives up entries. So,
Hmm.
and I think very soon we're going to get to the juggernaut, elephant in the room 2024. We'll get to that in a minute, but
I love that series.
oh
But
yeah.
yeah, even if it didn't go my way the whole time, I love that series.
Mhm.
But yeah, 2023 though, it sort of capped off. We did a little bit of we did a little bit of two stroke throughout the year. I ended up podiuming in all three major classes
Good
between
stuff.
rock. I got my first two rock podiums the first couple of races. And then Briggs, obviously it came together towards the middle to end of the year. And then we got to do VLR, which honest to God might be my favorite engine. It's got a little bit of a reliability issue with the reeds, but man, is it ever fun.
Yeah.
It's so tight and the draft is so much, and it just makes for some really good racing. But I ended up podiuming in all three classes, and just like showing a bit of range there and what I can do and just enjoying it and learning different stuff. And yeah, it was just a fun year for me, 2023. And like the team grew a bit more as well. Like we had Noah on board, and then we picked up Max for parts of the season as well. He ended up having to leave for school stuff, but
Understandable.
yeah. And then Jackson as well. Jackson started racing. Shout out Jackson. Big Jack's my dog. I love that guy. Um, yeah, like it was really good, and we were really starting to build up the sort of community that was coming up around us and our racing that we're doing, which I think for me is one of the most important things.
Agreed. I will also say
Yeah,
the final race for all of us in 2023, which we all did,
chaos.
which is, yeah, it was absolute chaos because none of us were expecting it to rain halfway through the day. And it didn't look like it was supposed to rain.
Mhm.
It was just white clouds and it was just raining. And then we're like,
Oh,
they're sliding out there. We got to put rain tires on.
that should have been my first like senior win. I was so like pissed at myself that day because I was not able to work on my card at all. I had a midterm the next day,
Oh,
so I literally. Sorry, my light's falling down. Hold on. Sorry, I try to make it look professional and it like
all good.
stuff's falling apart.
Oh,
I'm not
no.
organized for nothing. Uh, but anyways, um, dude, oh, I was literally it was track trailer, where I would like get off the track, I'd go to Chloe, I'd give her my feedback on the cart, and then I'd disappear and go back to reading. Like it was brutal for that. Now I can't even see the light. Hold on. Oh,
Uh,
still falling. You know
oh,
what?
no.
It's just in a perpetual state of staying there. So until it falls on my head, God bless. Um,
Oh,
but
no.
yeah, I ended up like I was only revving to 57 in the final in the rain.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, it was a little bit of a yo-yo between me and Ari. And I was like, damn, man, if I had like one, two more teeth even, I would have been able to get him there, I think. But what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
Racing?
And you guys still didn't have much left before because I was still lurking in the background as well. It's like
Yeah.
but that always scared me. It's like you were only revving that much and you still like pass me easy. And that's when I first could tell it's like, holy crap, these OTKs have so much grip
Bro,
through
when
here. It's
I
like I don't know
moved,
if I can keep up. I'm trying and I'm sliding.
when I moved to that cart, I remember Murphy was in that first race back from me. And Murphy I don't know if I could say this without you bleeping it, is a grade A shit talker. He absolutely is. Bless his soul. He's a wonderful man. But like grade A shit talker, shit disturber, all of it, right? Um, and so he comes up to me and he's like, I thought you couldn't drive in the rain. This is just like the only thing he said to me. I'm like, yeah, yeah, give me the right stuff. I'll put you in the ground. Okay. I'll beat you down. I'm gonna beat you every race now. And he's like, okay, man, whatever. And he like walked away. And I was still there, like puffing my chest, being a little, you know, disturber, as I do. Um, but yeah, that was my first race in that kart, and we ended up doing really well in qualifying for the rain. And then obviously you move now, and it's like every time the rain comes, it's my prayers are answered.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good
So
race. Yeah, mind you, dry is the same, but like rain especially, I'm like, yeah, we're good. We're chilling.
mm. The one thing that I will say that made that race like I still think it may have been topped this year by Shannonville for me because my God, that it was like a flood there. But
Yeah.
this race at Mosport was so hard. It was so cold as well, but also it got so much harder because practice and qualifying was in the dry. So there was grip on the track. And then we go out there and we're having to cross over it and
Hmm.
while trying to avoid it. And it is
Bro,
the most the chicane was the most disorienting thing I've ever had to drive through in my life. It's like
it
one
was so
lap you
fun.
nail it, one lap you don't.
That might just be the cart. Sorry. Um, I don't know. That race, I just remember now. I qualified pole that day, and it was double points and pole points. And Chloe was in the run for the championship. She ended up winning it. But I remember it came to the pits, and it was like I was the follower, so I was pushing, and I had one really good lap, and I was like, damn, I thought we were like slow, but it was just the two of us together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they came in, I got the number one board, and I walked up to Chloe, like shocked face. I'm like, I'm sorry I took your points. I was trying to push you
Oh,
so you go fast too. I'm sorry. She was like, who do I like? I don't care. It didn't let the other guys get it. Like, who cares? Grow up. I'm like,
that's
oh,
true.
okay.
That's the other
Damn.
thing. She took the positive away from it. It's like, well, she didn't get the points. Her
Mhm.
main competitors also didn't get the points, so it evens
He's good
out.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was like, oh no, no, 20 points to 10 points, whatever it is. No, it's down the drain.
Oh man,
Um, but yeah, that was a crazy race. That was a lot of fun.
it
Mosport,
was.
Mosport in the rain can sometimes get like crazy messy with especially with the S's. Like
Oh, it did. It did.
working there. No, you should see an arrive and drive night
Oh
working there.
no.
Dude, we call it Lake Mosport. It was kind of nuts. Like there was some points where it was like the arrive and drive cars would come in there and they're just on slicks. So they just start plowing, plowing, plowing.
Yep. Just
Nothing they can
hydroplane
do.
right off. Nothing you can.
Right into the dirt. There's like five guys backwards in the wall.
Oh,
We sent an employee who isn't like a kart racer to take some carts back up that one day and he went straight through and spun. We got it on the security cameras. That's funny. Shouts out. It's on my Instagram somewhere.
oh my
Uh
gosh.
Shouts out Carl though. Love Carl.
Great man.
Um yeah. But yeah, most board in the rain can get some crazy flooding. I don't know.
It's
It's a great track for it. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of learning that you can do there because of the amount of rubber that there is
lots of
now.
different lines to run.
Lots of different lines.
If you can get it to wrap, but it's some safer, some might be
Mhm.
quicker, but it's a lot more challenging to do. But it might be
Dude,
a
some
way to
guys in the
overtake.
S's, the curbing line in the S's in the rain.
Mhm.
Some of these guys, I'm like, I don't get how they do it every time. It's not even worth it for me to even go for it in a race because I can keep up with them. It's like maybe a tenth loss if I do it the right way, just
Yeah.
carry my momentum through. But it's like, damn, they're nuts. These people are insane, and they get it done every time. I'm like, okay, sure. I started practicing it in the arrive and drive carts at work.
Oh my gosh.
It's a real pain.
If you can get it right on the slicks, you can get it right in the with the rain tires.
I think I could do it now if I gave her a go, but we had a really dry end of the season. Start of the season was like every race was rain.
Just wet.
It was nuts. End of the season, just chilling.
Eh, well, sometimes that's the better way you want it.
I mean, it was good. It was
Mhm.
good. But yeah,
So that's
that was
2023.
2023.
Huh.
Yeah, capping it off there.
All right, so now we are going into 2024, Alec. We've finished up throughout this. Now we're pretty much into the modern time. And I guess, like we said, we'll start with the big elephant in the room, Interclub,
Oh,
making its long-awaited return to the series, if you want to say return,
dude,
because it's not been, but there has been nothing
it's
as
just
big as in Canada and karting than Interclub Challenge in 2024.
honestly, I think it's a bit disrespectful to say it's anything but its own thing because if we've not seen something this big, and it's just the Briggs series,
I
which
know.
works so well if you want big fields and you want track time. Because Briggs, listen, I love all the two cycle stuff. I know where my heart is, okay?
Mm.
I'm gonna be a Briggs driver till they force me to not. So like when I'm in the hospital at the age of like 70 and
Oh,
or it's electric or whatever it is, if it goes electric, it's not like the Briggs is a nice sounding engine anyways. It's
eh,
just fun, you know? Um, but like, man, what a good series. What a
I
fun time
know.
too.
Oh,
Like
man.
it's short. Like the track sessions are really short, but I think that's to its benefit as well because
Exactly.
the chaos is up. The racing is so much more high pressure.
Hmm.
And dude, there's so much of it from session to session. Like
Exactly.
there's so many sessions throughout the day, and you're racing against so many people that you're not always used to seeing because,
Exactly.
dude, I ran Goodwood at Briggs 2021, 2022
Yeah.
was my last time outside of like enduros.
Hmm.
So like going back there and racing against a bunch of new guys, like I saw obviously I raced against you and like Brennan, but like I haven't really raced in my time against like Goldie, who's made a crazy step up and is doing really well for a
Yep.
young senior driver. And then you get like all the regular guys that are just like really hyped up now as well because all this influx of talent is coming in and it's like damn everyone's on their A game. There's only Briggs, so you actually feel like you're the center of the weekend because
Yeah.
that can be an issue with some national races where you feel kind of like a sideshow sometimes, right? For the two cycle stuff, but it's like proper right, the most hyped up Briggs racing you can get. It's so
Exactly.
much fun. It feels like a CKNA race, like a CKNA
Yeah.
US race.
It honestly felt like the Springer Grand Nationals. It was on that scale,
Yeah.
like the lead up to the first race as well. Like
Oh,
we're
it's
going,
crazy.
well, this is where it's at. All the big guys are going to be. And then we keep looking
Mhm.
at the entry list. It's like, oh my God,
Oh,
this is
it's
even bigger
more.
than what we
It's
thought it
more.
was going to be.
It's more.
Yeah.
Dude, it was what, 83 drivers on the entry?
80 was what we got at Goodwood, which was the max this year. 80 on the
Gotcha. I
dot.
think the entry list hit 83 and like a couple of people dropped out.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I remember the number 83 for some reason. I
Really?
don't know if that's accurate, but that's the one I have in my head, so that's what I'm going with. Um, but dude, like obviously the weekend didn't end the way that we wanted it to in the end, right? Just because of, you get secondhand stuff sometimes and you don't know exactly what you're getting into.
Yeah,
Um, but man, the way that series was run was just fun.
it was. It was
It
such a
was
good time.
like obviously it has its flaws, like every race series does, especially
Yep.
new ones. But man, if they continue it next year and on, that's my priority. Because,
I I
dude,
I, I resonate with that statement 100%.
you're telling me you can get 50 plus on the regular? Like Hamilton felt like a smaller race for Interclub,
Yeah.
and we still had a and a B final.
Yeah,
I like when was the last time you saw a B final at like nationals? Do you can
exactly.
remember?
We don't
I
get
like the
it.
last one I remember was like 2016 for junior.
Wow.
And I was running cadet at the time. Like it was crazy though. Like, dude, what a fun series. You're
Oh
really
man.
going up against everyone. There's some
It
drivers
is
that
the
I'd never
best of the best.
exactly. And like there's some drivers I'd never met before. Like, um, forgive me if I mispronounced the last name, but Alex Pigliarelli.
Alex
I got up against him.
Pellegrini. I'll, I'll
Pellegrini.
I'll correct you on that.
Okay, thank you. Now I won't say it wrong. I just haven't really talked to the guy much. But like seems like a nice enough dude.
He's a great guy.
Um, Frat, I know I raced against a lot more at Inter Club, and he's done a couple of like Mosport races. And then there's just a bunch of guys that like I still have to like get to know them better just because I don't really race that good with so much. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
more next year. That's like a goal of mine whenever I get a weekend off from running Hamilton. Spoilers for later on in the video. Um, I'm gonna go run more Goodwood races just so I can get more development on different tracks and just keep making myself better.
Yeah.
But man, what a fun series.
I loved it. I loved a lot of it, man. And
Yeah.
the funniest thing as well is leading up to every single weekend as well. There was rain in the area, which had created so much chaos in one way or another throughout the weekend or on the day of.
You know what's crazy? I missed it both times. I didn't
Oh
do
my
practice
gosh.
beforehand. The first inter club, I thought I was gonna do awful. Because that night, me and Nathan Powell, shouts out Nathan Powell, went to 21 Savage
Hmm.
and JID, who I was
Darn.
there for, because I'm a little bit of a hip hop nerd and I love him. Um, and then for the Mosport Inter Club, I wasn't there because I was going to see my girlfriend at the time. So just like skipping out on practice and still like enjoying the fun racing at the end of it. Dude, what a fun, crazy series, man.
It almost helps, like, it's better that it's completely spread out and it's only three races because it makes
Hmm.
it feel more prestigious. Like, this is the biggest one. We're
No, and
combining everything together. Let's go all out and let's everybody come on in.
remember I was saying earlier though about the short series as well? Like that's a big part of it, right?
Yeah,
Like no one wants to spend, however, like it's $100 a race now.
yeah,
You do 15 races in a championship, probably on average between the three major clubs. Dude, you are spending so much more than doing the three races against all the big drivers.
exactly. Yeah,
Like, I can't fault anyone who just wants to run Interclub because damn, like, I want to run Interclub more than I
yeah.
want to run anything else, right? Dude, it's so sick. It's a great series. I'm really looking forward to that next year.
And how we follow up
Um,
this year on it.
yeah, like obviously every series has its own issues. And it sort of comes out the longer the series goes on. That's why
Yeah,
you've seen some series fall off and like rebrand throughout the years, right? Like ECKC was fantastic, but there's a reason why it didn't last so long. No one wanted to run two races a weekend at those
yeah. It
prices,
was a
plus
bit
new
much.
tires, plus going to different provinces. Like Tremblant, as much as it's a fantastic track, is like from Mosport, it's like 6 hours.
Yeah, it's like for a lot of us, it's like a 7 hour drive there.
Yeah, if I were to go now, it would be probably like 7.5 hours from
Yep.
Guelph. If I were to guess, I don't know. I haven't made the drive,
Yeah. And
but
that's like just saying you're doing it in a car. This is towing a trailer behind you with all this stuff
yeah,
in it. It's like,
yeah, like the track's worth it. It's a
mhm.
fantastic
Oh,
track, and
I
I
love the
am
facility.
looking forward to
Facility's
going back
lovely.
there. I'm gonna go back there at some point, and I'm going to have the time of my life.
Hmm.
But like, it's just every year, it's just so much for like small budget Ontario drivers, which is why you have series like Interclub, where it's like, oh, we're gonna keep it in the GTA.
Hmm.
We're gonna do it a bit more expensive than club racing, but like you don't have to buy new tires, right? Which kind of killed me for Hamilton because I was running on. Did you
Old,
did you see those
older one.
tires? Dude, not even old. I
I'm
didn't
trying to
have dots
remember.
by I didn't have dots on either side by the end of the race.
Oh God.
I was flipping tires because I just I'm a bit of an idiot. I was practicing on my race tires by accident and I put down way too many laps and I didn't realize how
Whoops.
hard new tracks are on tires. I
Oh
forgot.
no.
Yeah. So I ended up by the end of the weekend on bulbs all around because I kept flipping every session as well. So then it would prevent tire dag.
Ay, ay,
But
ay.
whatever. But yeah, you don't have to buy new tires though.
No. And that's a,
If you're smarter,
again, budget
if you're
area.
smarter than me, if you're smarter than me, you'll make it by, you know, which is a low bar sometimes. So
Yeah.
we're good. But yeah, like it's a cheap, fun, high quality racing series. And I think it makes everyone just that much better too, right?
Hmm.
Like, I, who knows, right? I could go to Goodwood next year and there's going to be some guys that I've raced against like once or twice. And maybe they figured out something that, like, I don't know. Maybe it works not on other drivers, but it's just a hole in my game that someone can exploit. And then I go, oh, where have I been missing this? Right.
Yeah.
I think getting everyone together and just metal on metal is going to make us all better drivers. And at the end of the day, if you want the the sport to grow, the competition level has to grow with it because
That's right.
that's what people come for. Like, I'm not showing up at some random racetrack to race against like some guy if it's his first time and that's it, right?
Yeah. But where's the fun in that? You're
I
basically just
want to
hot
race.
lapping.
I want to compete against the Treadwells, the Pryors, the Sabalios, the Paladinos, like all those main top guys that
Yeah.
are going to be there and going to make you work for it. I want to race against all of them day in, day out, and like sharpen your steel, you know?
Yeah.
That's
I
what makes
agree.
it fun.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg of the top guys. Like
Oh,
it's just
dude, like
you could
trust
spend
me.
an hour here talking about everybody in the series and like
That's
how
just
this
like,
person,
yeah, that's just like a mix of guys. Like if you want to like sit here and talk about like guys that I could learn from, oh, we could be here all day.
yeah,
Because at
exactly.
the end of the day, everyone's got something that like you're gonna pick something up from it, right?
Yes.
That's why you got to get out against all those guys. Because
Uh-huh.
otherwise, you're just gonna keep bumming around the track, just sort of stagnating. You want to
Agreed.
be better. That's why we're here.
Exactly. That's what you want.
Exactly, exactly.
So
So yeah, Inner Club,
massive thumbs up.
love it. Like, and returning to Goodwood as well was a big thing for me and a lot of my drivers who haven't actually been there before, like a lot of
That's
our
right.
VSR guys.
That was a lot of people's first time
There's a
there.
lot of people's, yeah, like man, and a lot of them took to it really well too, right?
Hmm.
Like I know Joe ended up in the B final because of incidents, but he did like
Yeah.
arrive and drive there, and he was quick out of quality too. Like as soon as he got there, comparative to like where he's been in races like that before. I
Yeah.
think he qualified in like the mid 20s out of 80.
That's good.
Like he was qualifying against like there was big people up and around there, right?
Yeah.
And so you sort of learn from being in that situation, going to different tracks and figuring stuff out. I like I think it's really good for the community, which to me is the most important part here because I've learned so much from the community, like on a personal level as well, to be able to go to different tracks and learn and meet new people
Yeah.
that will you'll figure out more people that you'll like and like everything sort of grows with that. It's just so good all around to have a series like Inter Club where it's inexpensive relatively and you're just against the best of the best.
Exactly.
The only thing I want to see more of, I really wish more teams would bring in their two cycle drivers.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
If
that. I
we're
was like,
going steel to steel, I want to see how good those guys are in Briggs
yeah,
because I want to see what they've learned from two cycle and how they can apply it and how we could grow from it.
yeah,
Because that's really what it comes down to. Because there's some really good two cycle drivers out there, right?
agreed.
And I want to see them come and run Briggs and see, even if they get their butts kicked, I want them to come back the next time and do better because
Agreed.
hopefully it'll help them when they go to like, if they go to SCUSA and it's all of a sudden tight packs,
Yeah,
right? I just think it's good for all of us if we have a big four cycle series where it's just tight racing and testing your metal with everyone you possibly can.
yep.
I love that series so much. If they could find a way to like promote it so then more two cycle drivers run it, I think that's the next step for making it even better.
So
Like if you look at the states too, like Garrison and Massimino run the CKNA stuff.
that's right. Yeah.
Um, God, what's the guy's name? I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
Colmore?
Gafera, because I
Oh,
no Gafera, because I was just watching him, watching the results for something or like some announcement come up. So
Shout
his
out
name
Car
is in
Chaser.
mine. Yeah, shout out Kart Chaser. We need something like that too. When are you starting your own broadcasting thing?
Oh boy, yeah. If I had a dollar for every time people ask me that question, I
Yeah.
gotta ask Xander for some advice on that. Xander, once I talk to you again, buddy, I'd love to know how you guys do it, how you have the budget to do it, and how you got your whole
Mm.
crew to do it. Because there's a
Like,
lot of time and money that goes into that.
dude, it's massive. I think it would be great for us to have some sort of thing up for that as well. Like some sort of broadcast. Like it sort of falls on us as well as drivers. Like I'm trying to do more media stuff next year. Like I'm gonna
Yeah,
start posting races and try to do like race day vlogs just for promotion. But
exactly.
like it doesn't like it would be good if it didn't have to fall on the drivers here the same way. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't have to for like Kart Chaser in the US, right? Where there is the institution to promote it, you know?
exactly. Yeah.
But either way, we got to do our job. Like I'm gonna
Hmm.
start doing that next year. Chloe's gonna start posting races too. I don't know if she's gonna vlog them. I gotta find a camcorder to vlog it. She'll be like, "Hey guys, what's up? It's me." You know, I bugged Owen about it when I was on the phone with him the other night. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna stick a camera on you all year." He's like, "Oh, well, I'll participate." He was being very nice about it.
Okay.
He's just a chill dude, you know. But yeah, I think that'd be great. Like that's just like the little steps. But dude, that series was so much fun.
Yeah, it
And it really
was.
just made Ontario karting feel that much bigger and better
It
and showed
has
sort of the potential we have to build as a community, right?
exactly. Like it has the what the cool kids call the aura around it of being that new elite juggernaut
Can I
of
go on a little side tangent here?
yeah, go ahead.
I miss when Oro was an NBA Twitter term so bad. Dude, I miss watching TikToks of like PG-13 playing like just doing his thing to like Didn't You Know by Erica Badu and it being like the aura play back when it was like in its origin. Oh, I miss it being cool. Now it's like too much.
At times.
Oh, sorry. That's a little side tangent.
That's all right. That's
I miss NBA Twitter as well.
all right.
It was so good.
uh so we got the big news of 2024 out of the way. Anything else on 2024 or do you want to head into the what the future holds for you coming now we're in 2025 and what you
I'm
guys are
a
focusing on?
I'm cool with doing like a little thing for 2024 just because it was such a good year for me. Um, like I won, I
A lot
think
of big
five
wins for
races
you this
across the
year.
year. Yeah, I got the Canada Cup race, which I was proud of, as well as the Labor Day, like those specialty Mosport races that I think are the best ones to run. I did those, did well on them. Um, had a little bit of a sideways fellows, but that was also my fault, being a little disturber. And then like a lot of big developments with the team as well. Like the community that we really fostered under VSR last year, under Terry and Ellie and their leadership, and like everyone that came in, we did like big potlucks and did a real good community thing there.
Good stuff.
Like that to me was a big part of last year. And that was for me the number one thing, despite like all the success that we had throughout the last year.
Yeah.
That and like the interclub stuff. Like I ended up second at the Mosport interclub after like a good little battle at the end. Crazy chaotic race. Definitely the most chaotic race that I participated in. Luckily I wasn't in any of it. Like it was all just in front of me and around me. But man, like it was a crazy good race. It was a great year in terms of like the energy that we had as a community down at VSR. And like even our friends not at VSR that were like coming and hanging out with us, like yourself
Yeah.
and Logan and Rennie and like the people that I really like seeing at the track were all there. And we picked up a couple of drivers this year too. Like we got Joe this year and we got Nagy this year, who I think is going to be really good. Like he was really showing strong signs at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Um, and like, man, give him one more race. I think he gets his first senior podium. Like he was right there towards the end so often.
Good
And then like
stuff.
Kegel, my dog, came and ran a couple of races with us last year too. And he's been a good presence at the team between like coaching our young drivers and just being there and being like a good friend and a good teammate.
Exactly.
Um, so for me, that's the important part. Um, as well as the results were really nice, which felt really good. Like I got my first senior win. which God forbid it took that long, but you know,
When
you
it
take it when
finally
you can get it.
happens, it happens.
You take it when you can get it, you know?
Yep.
And then from there, we've just been on a bit of a tear. And it's been really good. And I'm really looking forward to carrying this momentum forward next year and doing the same thing out in Hamilton.
Hmm. And that'll segue us, I guess, right into that, if that's all right.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. So next
You've
year,
got quite the big news coming.
I was working on throughout the year because I want to live in Guelph full time, as well as like just I always have to feel like I'm getting better and learning. So for me, I need to take on hard challenges. And so for me, I was working on it throughout the year, talking to Terry about like what can I do to run out of Hamilton because it's an hour and a half from the crib to Mosport, and it's 45 from the crib to Hamilton. So if I could go race out there, keep developing setup, keep learning, drive against new drivers, and just sort of like go at it, um, and sort of figure out my own way of driving a lot more, then it would have been really nice. As well as, luckily for me, I found out part of the way through the year that Owen, who was the champion last year, Mika, that's my dog,
Hey,
um, was going to school in Waterloo for the summer,
hey, good
which
stuff.
is, thank God, on the way to Hamilton for me. So I sort of like was talking to Terry throughout the summer, and I was like, Terry, what do you think? Should I be like stocking up on parts and just running on my own end of my car out there? And he's like, just wait, we'll get something going. And then um, midway through the year, we get to nationals. Jeremy's sort of like hanging around, helping us out whenever he can because he's just that type of person. Like he's a really good dude, and he'll help out in any way he possibly can. He is just like one of those classic karting people that you meet and just is always helpful, puts the community forward, right? Um, and then I see him like walk away with Terry for a little bit, and I was like, it's kind of interesting. And then a week later, I get a follow from JCM Karting, and I'm like trying to figure out who it is. I'm like, JC, Jeremy Chatterson.
There it is.
So I would go up to Tara and I was like, so I saw this. Do you think it would be a good idea if I went and raced for Jeremy? Because he's a good dude, and I really like believe in a project with him as well. Um, and I went out and raced for him, or would you rather me just run out on my own with VSR representing, right? And he's like, he was already talking to me about it, a little bit, just moving to Hamilton, but he's like, yeah, I talked to Jeremy. Like, it just makes sense. I'd rather you go race under JCM and just help develop that team and develop my own driving when I'm out there and just work and work and work at it and just build up like what we can do. So I talked to Owen after that. I was like, Owen, this is my idea. And Owen just went, bet that sounds great. Let's go do it. He's super chill and he's like I'm so happy that I'm going with him as well. Like that was a big thing for me to have him going with me because he's one of those classic karting people where he'll go out of his way every time
Yeah.
and just get to help. And he'll do setup stuff and he's really great with setup stuff and learning stuff for the cart. And so that was a big change for us this year as well, getting an extra hand on setup and an extra cart and testing where it's just like he's gonna figure stuff out because he's good for that. Um and then next year we're heading into Hamilton for as full of a season as we could possibly do between the two of us. He has summer school at the time, and
Mm.
I just sometimes like it's a long season, so I might miss some races, whether that's budget stuff or it's just the long season wearing you down. But I'm gonna do as many races as I can, and we're gonna try to do what we always do, which is build our own team, build our own community, show that the cart really works out there, and make it work and go out and steal on steel against some of the best in Ontario.
It's a great plan to have.
Yeah. Like I just want to make sure that I don't stagnate and I keep getting better. And same goes with Owen. Same goes with Jeremy and his development of the team. And he has a kid, Kaylin, and she's been doing really well out there. And we're gonna get out and we're gonna teach her and just build the team, build the community around it, and go kick some butt.
Yeah. Sounds great to me. And that's a
Yeah,
great precedent to have heading into a season, man.
absolutely. And I feel like we're going with the right team there, like the right group of people. Obviously, I believe in the chassis. Otherwise, I would have moved years
Yeah.
ago.
Is it the same chassis? Or are you guys trying
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
different? Okay.
Same chassis, same chassis. We're still gonna run the 2 cycle chassis. It's Jeremy has the distributing rights for the EOS,
Okay.
but it's still an OTK. It's gonna be the same chassis. It's just different colors. And like it's one of the most successful kart brands globally, the
Exactly.
OTK,
Yep.
and it's worked really well for us in the past couple of years. And we have the right people because Jeremy's really good with like the data stuff, and he's a really good mechanic, and he's really good. He's got a great mind for all that stuff. Plus, I got Britsky. He's gonna be there a lot. I don't know if he's gonna be on the right go kart, but if he isn't, he's gonna hear it. Um, he knows that. But that's a big thing for me because he's been like crazy foundational for my karting career and like teaching me the ropes and just getting me going, right? So for me, the team ended up like working out really well. And then whenever I get a weekend off, I'm still gonna go to like back to Whitby and go to Mosport and coach drivers at VSR and back at Goodwood for whoever wants to run there and coach drivers there.
Yeah.
And just work with the team there and my family to make sure that we're all getting everything we can done. Keep
Awesome.
pushing the community forward,
Good
you know?
stuff. Yeah, man. It's what we all want.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what makes it fun, right?
Exactly. So,
And like I'm really excited for the challenge next year too. We got as soon as that announcement was posted, I heard from track owners at Hamilton. Wickens reached out to my parents to be like, "Hey, we saw the announcement. We're really looking forward to it because they really want to see other kart brands come in there and like sharpen steel, right?
yeah.
Because they've had, for the most part, just the Burrell there for Prime,
Yeah.
right? And how do their drivers get better without going against other drivers and making it work, right?
Exactly. Other competition. So,
And then I was out for like a random test day it was like the last official day of testing at Mosport, and I just had a day off and a practice pass. And I tore my card apart, threw it in the back of my car, and put it back together when I got to the track. Um, and David Barnes was there coaching a guy, and he came right over and was like, "Yeah, we're really looking forward to having you guys there, and
good
just like
stuff.
having that competition at the club level, so then we could all grow." And for me, like I'm super excited to hear that because one, it means first off, you don't like going to a place where you're like feeling a little bit shunned, right?
Yeah.
No one wants that.
No.
But more importantly, that they've been like, yeah, we're really looking forward to it. We're gonna go and we're gonna see who's better, which to me is a good invite for competition. And
Exactly.
I want to go sharpen my steel. I want to race against David and Jordan and Mitchell Morrow and Paxa. And there's still so many drivers you can name. Same thing as earlier when we were naming out drivers, right?
Yeah.
There's so much to learn from all these guys. And I'm really looking forward to getting it dialed in and just showing them. Because at the end of the day, that's my job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add, Alec?
Can I do a few more shout outs?
Yeah, sure. Go right ahead.
Okay. I want to shout out my young drivers because they've been working their butts off and they did really well last year. So shout out to Belknap, Shaw, Ricky, and Mateo. Those are my cadet drivers. They did really well last year under VSR and they just kept getting better and better. And they got a lot of improvement and potential. And then for junior, it was Scotty, and he's moving up to senior next year. So shout outs to him. And he's just going to keep developing and getting better too. So just wanted to give
Awesome.
that at the end because they all deserve it for all the hard work they keep putting in and all the training days and learning that they're doing.
The new generation is upon us, my man.
Bro, give it like 5 years and we'll be like treated like old heads. Not even. I already get it. Bro, Noah calls me an old man half the time I see him. Ah, that
Oh
kid,
man.
you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we're the old heads now.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
20 years old and ancient, apparently.
Yeah. They we feel old, and yet we're not even close to 30.
Yeah, well, I still got back pain, so
Zach, John, how did you guys do this for 20 years?
hey,
Jeez.
just wait. Wait until you see old Alec. I'm gonna be going gray and being a senior. I want to do like because it's all about the competition, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like Steele showing up at CKNA Grands and just
Yep.
running
Just
like
running through people and
classes.
taking another trophy,
Or
man. But
like
it shows his still.
the
It shows his
champions
skill.
competition that they did
Yeah.
where he was racing against these like these young guys.
Yep.
Dude, I want to do that. Are you kidding me? That's so inspiring. Because I remember he was 3 times my age when I first moved into senior, and I was still racing against him, and he was still like showing me where I can improve just by being around him on the track. I want to do that. That's so inspiring because it's
Yeah, it
just like
is.
badass. Like that's sick. But yeah, I'm gonna grow old with it. No
I
offense
think a
to Mark
lot of us.
Steele. I
No,
didn't mean
man.
to call him old there. Be clear. I don't want no
He's an
smoke.
absolute legend.
Oh yeah. Respect for staying in for so long and just still being such a high quality driver, right?
Exactly.
But that's what I want to do. Like for I want to be like an old head, like proper right, and not just be called unk by like weird children like no Van Stratton. You could leave that part in. Don't take that part out.
Oh,
You know what?
I,
You're a,
oh
you're a
man,
different case,
good
buddy.
stuff. Cheers to that, Alec. And on that note, I say, bada bing, brother.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Oh,
Jesus.
and with that, I believe that'll bring us to the end of this edition of the Racing Topic Podcast. Great return episode. Awesome to be
Hell yeah.
back here. Hopefully, I can keep pumping these out. Thank you very much, Alec, for coming on with us and pushing it. This has been a long time in the making. I'm sorry
Thank you for having
that
me.
it's taken me a while. Losing certain accounts, getting a job, and a bunch of other circumstances in life kept me from doing this. Maybe my own personal motive to do it, but I've had a lot of people amping up to me and keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. When you can do another podcast episode, I thank you all for that. I appreciate the support so much. Let's get back into this. Let's do it right. Let's do a bunch in 2025.
Like and subscribe to the video and the channel, Chad. Put this part at the very start before you put anything else. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, that's going to do it for everybody for this episode of the Racing Topic Podcast. Again, thank you, Alec. And I'll leave you
You.
with this one, and we'll see you in the very near future. Y'all take it easy, everybody.